Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to stand here and share my story with you all. Learning piano takes up a large portion of my life. I'm 16 years old right now, and I've been playing the piano for 12 years. Recently, I merited the ABRSM grade 8, which is the highest level a person can get. But until last year, I feel like piano is just a task, something I have to do. Just like most Chinese kids, I was told that practicing piano so that I could perform and showcase my music talent. However, I have several difficulties. First, I have limited skills, which makes the entire practicing difficult. It made me feel like practicing piano is just a tedious task. In addition, I have stage anxiety. Every time when I get up the stage, it really stresses me out. What if I made a mistake? A single flaw in my performance would cause a huge damage in my overall performance, and I could be humiliated in front of hundreds of people. Last year, we had a final exam performance in our music class, and each of us was assigned to play the same song and sing to it. Confident that my experience in music composition would differentiate me from the amateurs, I volunteered to make some alterations to the piece to make it more fair-sounding. Even though I successfully did that, I found it too difficult to practice to perfection, especially within a limited amount of time. Huge pressure overwhelmed me. However, the more anxious I got, the less efficient I was practicing the piece. Eventually, the night before the performance, I was so overwhelmed, and I practiced for 6 straight hours without any rest. Eventually, the day for the performance, I was so exhausted, and it really exacerbated my anxiety. And during the performance, I could hardly remember the script because I was too nervous. And I made a lot of greenhorn mistakes. But after that happened, I started to reflect. Why did this happen even if I did a lot of practicing and I spent so many time to practice it? Well, the first thing is that the piece that I altered is really difficult, and this is really kind of out of my ability. So then I fell into procrastination. I thought so much about being applauded or being recognized as talented, and I forgot how I wanted to make the music to sound beautiful in the first place. But my new piano teacher then played an important role in the transformation of my mindset. In the first lesson, we learned a difficult piece, and it is the highest exam grade, which is Fantasia in C minor. It is of Baroque style. It requires very advanced skills for the player. Naturally, I thought what matters the most is the skills that we had. But she did not ask me to do the conventional process, which is to read the music score, play by one hand, then the other hand. But instead, she showed me some music videos to trigger my interest. First, she showed me some videos about the history of the style and some music that were produced during the Baroque period. I felt the sense of freshness since it was the first time I truly spent my time and patience to listen to music. Baroque music have fast melody and constant tones with energetic and passionate feelings. When the music video finished, I feel like I want to learn more. As I gained some interest in learning the Baroque style, I was feeling very motivated to learn this new piece. Normally, I would feel frustrated and tired when reading new and complicated music score, but instead, this time I feel very excited because I feel very excited and motivated to deal with this new challenge. Baroque is one of the hardest style because it has a high tempo and requires the flexibility of your finger. Again, something that would have stresses me out naturally. But this time, after I watched the music video my tutor showed me, and even some more I found on my own, I feel very inspired and have the motivation to learn it. I came to realization that in the learning of piano, what matters the most is not necessarily the skills that you possess, neither the ability to move your fingers as fast as bullets, nor the capacity to memorize the piece overnight. Well, I mean, these are important, but what matters the most is your interest and your motivation behind. Well, for me, the motivation that gave me the determination to learn a piece is to be interested in this piece. And the theory behind is called intrinsic motivation. When you first pursue an activity for the pure enjoyment of it, you are doing so because you are truly interested. Your motivation for engaging in a behavior arises entirely from within rather than out of a desire to gain some external rewards, such as prizes, money. Well, in my case, it's the applause from audience. Of course, that isn't to say that intrinsically motivated behaviors do not come with their own rewards. These rewards involve creating positive emotions. In my case, excitement and eagerness to master the piece. For too long, millions of children learn musical instruments like a task. Who loves a task? That's basically equivalent to work. Of course, works without pay. If adults don't want to work for free, why would children want to practice or learn the piano to perfection without rewards? Well, obviously, we are not going to pay children to practice piano, but instead, we should give the joy of music back to them. That requires a holistic understanding of why and how someone wrote the music, as well as the possibility that after long practice, they could produce like this kind of beautiful music that brings out joys. Children don't need money or even praise. It's best if they can feel competent when they learn something new or become more skilled. We all feel good when we make progress in something grander, don't we? With the help of my new piano teacher, I finally merited the last graded exam. However, that's not a stop. I plan to pass on the great teaching method. So now I'm a tutor for 2 middle school students. When I observe these juniors, it's just like I'm looking at myself from a few years ago. I can recognize that their previous teachers are putting too much pressure on them, which is not very suitable for a student not very skilled. Sometimes when teachers might want to tell their student and taught a lot of things in order to make the lesson meaningful. However, drawn from my own experience, as a student, simultaneously learning too many things would only result in frustration. I would show them the full piece played by the pianist first to inspire. Then I teach them one thing at a time so that they can concentrate and fully master one skill after another. I hope to guide my students away from the roadblocks and pitfalls I encountered before. My goal is to make them feel the joyfulness when playing the piano, instead of being overwhelmed by the pressure of passing the exam. I want them to understand no matter what we do, we shouldn't worry too much about the external rewards, and we shouldn't let them diminish our initial interest of doing something. The best spice for making a good piece of music is passion. My students are just beginning their journey to be a piano player. Even I am still just starting my journey as a teacher. I cannot guarantee that they or I will become some world-leading professional pianist, but after understanding the importance of intrinsic motivation, I believe our journey with music will be longer and happier. Thank you.